which is coming up next.
We got the Magic Library, the Return to the Magic Library, and then the Bookmice in the library.
You want to play some Record Not a Record? Call in during the library.
There's magic in a library. A different story every day. Go anywhere you want to go. Be anyone you'd like to be. Read the books upon the shelf. Find the magic for yourself. In a magic library. Here, in the magic library. 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 Leon, Zazzy, look at this. I've never seen this before.
Does it have something to do with the story?
I bet it does. It is story time. Well, I suppose it could do. Look.
Call the fairy. Gosh, do you think it works?
There's only one way to find out. Press it, Norbert.
Didn't work. She can't be a fairy.
What time is it?
4 o'clock.
No, I mean fairy time.
We don't know. We're not fairies.
Huh, I should say you're not. You're nothing but mice. I'm going back to sleep. Set the alarm for 6 months. Just a short nap.
Nothing but mice, are we? Well, you're nothing like a fairy.
Ha! That shows you don't know much about fairies. There are lots of different kinds.
Well, what kind are you?
Norbert, shh. Aren't you going to read us a story?
Sorry. I need my beauty sleep.
You certainly do.
Oh.
Ha! If you don't read us a story, we'll make so much noise you'll never get to sleep.
Right. Will you, little mice? Go ahead if you dare.
We want a story. We want a story. We want... What we mean is, we'd really like you to read us a story. I bet you know some great ones.
Well, I do know a lot of stories. Let's see. A nice story to read. How about this one by Jane Yolen, Sleeping Ugly? Yes. Princess Miserella was a beautiful princess if you counted her eyes and nose and mouth all the way down to her toes. Oh, where are they? Oh.
This sounds like another beautiful princess story.
But Norbert, didn't you hear the word if? I think if tells us this story is different.
So do I. But you can tell by the name, too. Miserella. It sounds like miserable. You can tell a lot from names.
But inside, where it was hard to see, she was the meanest, wickedest, and the most worthless person around.
I know a mouse like that. Nice on the outside, but mean inside.
Quiet, or I'll wave my wand. Miserella threw pies in the cook's face. She never said thank you or please. And besides, she told lies.
Told lies? That doesn't sound like a princess. I think you're right, Zazzy. This story is going to be different.
In that very same kingdom, in the middle of the woods, lived a poor orphan named Plain Jane. Her hair was short, her nose was long. She was not a great beauty, but she loved animals and was always kind to strange old ladies.
I can't wait for Plain Jane to meet Miserella.
How do you know they're going to?
Well, when a story begins by telling about two different people, especially one good and one bad,
You can be pretty sure they're going to meet. I guess that makes sense. But how can they meet? They're so different.
How do you think Jane and Miserella meet?
I've got an idea. Maybe.
No, Plain Jane would never go to a ball.
Oh, well, maybe. No, princesses never go shopping. But maybe she owns the woods where Jane lives. So, maybe...
Or maybe I wave my wand and make you all statues so I can keep reading. One day, Princess Miserella rode into the middle of the woods and was soon lost. Suddenly, she tripped over a little old lady asleep under a tree. She guessed she was a fairy in disguise, but she didn't care. She kicked the old lady and shouted at her.
That's a silly thing to do to a fairy. Fairies have magic powers. Something might happen to Miserella.
Quite. The old lady took Miserella by the hand. They walked deeper into the woods. There they found a little house. It was dreary. The floors sank, and the walls stank, and the roof leaked even on sunny days.
Plain Jane's house.
So that's how they meet. That's what I like about stories. Sometimes you can guess what's going to happen, and sometimes they have things you never even thought about.
Miserella walked in without knocking, but Plain Jane smiled and said to her, The fairy looked pleased and said to Jane, Miserella was not pleased. She stamped her foot. So the fairy said to her,
Turn her foot into what? What would you turn it into?
I'd turn it into
A log. I'd turn it into a hoof. I'd turn it into mush.
Mush? Yuck!
Well, Fairy, what did she turn it into? Stone! Good for the fairy!
right.
Jane looked at the princess's stone foot and sighed. The fairy moved her wand. The princess shook her foot. It was no longer made of stone. She told Jane it was a stupid way to waste a wish. The fairy was angry and told her that if she said stupid again...
What would you guess comes out of Miserella's mouth?
Well, this is what came out.
Toad! Yuck!
Sure enough, Miserella did shout stupid again. Jane picked up the toad and said,
Why did Jane do that? Now she just wasted 2 wishes.
I don't know. Anyone have any ideas why she did it?
Maybe it's because of the kind of person she is.
Oh, yes. She's so nice. She doesn't want bad things to